Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press, colleagues, Deputy High Commissioner. Uh, we're here this morning to thank the British High Commission officially for participating in one of the very critical relief efforts that the government of Barbados has mounted in relation to the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And we have, since March of last year, the government has had to reorient clearly its finances to be able to respond to a number of social protection needs, which were critically important as the worldwide impact with respect to the cessation of travel has had, certainly with respect to our economy. And the Adoptive Family Program has been one of those programs that I think have been very successful, not just from the government's contributions, but certainly in being able to accept donations from civil society, the diplomatic corps, and average citizens in the country. And I really do want to thank the British High Commissioner for the contribution that they have made in respect of this effort, in the same way that many other Barbadians and other corporate entities in Barbados have been able to contribute to that. I can say certainly the Ministry of Finance is often looking at what people may regard as the big picture. But the reality is that thousands of Barbadians have benefited from this program, which is part of that big picture. And we are happy that we've been able to facilitate such a program with relative ease. And I know that just over 4,000 families have benefited directly from this program. And we anticipate that clearly we have made provision in the next financial year to be able to continue with the program. And therefore, I say this given that you're a representative of the British High Commission, you would know that slogan that one of your major chains use, every little helps. And therefore, we're really appreciative of the support from the British High Commission in respect of being able to deliver some relief for Barbadians at the very time that they really, really, really needed it. And I want to thank you on behalf of the government as well as the people of Barbados with respect to your contribution. I invite you to say a few words at this time.
And thank you very much, Minister, for your kind words there. I think, as you said, we've COVID-19 has caused unprecedented issues for all governments around the world, and it's no different for the UK as it is for Barbados. And we've been working, as you say, on a very macro level with your government over the last year, and we're very grateful for the efforts that you provided in helping us repatriate our citizens at the beginning of the process, and we've worked with you through various other issues as the pandemic's progressed. But at that macro level, obviously we work at government level, but as you say, at the lower level, there's always these disadvantages of countries that need particular help. And so that's why when your Prime Minister announced the Adopt a Family Programme, it was a particular interest to us at the High Commission, and so I'm very pleased that we were able to partner with you and provide funding in the shape of £60,000 towards the Adopt a Family Programme. And as you say, it's reached a large number of families in Barbados and help make sure that it's just that little bit of extra support to help them through the most difficult days of the pandemic as we all work together to try and get there. So we're very grateful. We're very pleased to be able to support the government of Barbados in this endeavour.
Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. I am particularly pleased this morning to be here with the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association in relation to their donation to the Adopt a Family Program. All Barbadians will be aware that the Barbados economy had a significant shock in the first quarter of last year, where we saw the cessation first of travel and then the associated, obviously, cancellation of bookings, which has had a significant impact on the Barbados economy. But the members of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, notwithstanding that very clear impact on their own personal businesses and operations, have seen it fit really to step forward to be able to help provide and support for the Adopt a Family Program. And I really truly want to thank your membership with respect to being able to, even at a very difficult time, to ensure that we can help augment the support that the government has put with respect to the Adopt a Family program, and really to respond not just to members who may have worked in the industry, but certainly average Barbadians who benefited directly from the contributions of many. And I really do want to signal to the country and to the BHTA that I think this endeavor has been one of the signature responses in terms of being able to help persons get through a very, very difficult time in their lives, which was completely unforeseen, obviously, by any of us a year ago. As I have always indicated, the government's social protection mechanisms will continue to be strong in provision for as long as is required to ensure that no Barbadian will be left behind. And I think this demonstrates goodwill on behalf of a significant portion of the corporate community in Barbados. And at a very difficult time for yourselves, business-wise, I think it really speaks volumes for the foresight in being able to bring a measure of relief to Barbadians. Over 4,000 persons have households, I should say not persons, households, have benefited directly from the Adopt a Family program. And once again, I say to all citizens, all the NGOs, all of the corporate bodies, thank you very much for the efforts. The government has been able to put in on its own steam over $20 million. We have received so far just under $10 million or so in donations from corporate Barbados and individuals. And we will continue to work to ensure that families in this country can stay above the water, as we would say, stay afloat, until we can see the resumption of travel and the resumption of some level of normality coming back to the economy that will see your members once again contribute, as it always has, to the significant well-being of a large number of Barbadians across this land. So I really do want to say a heartfelt thank you to the members of the BHD, and please convey that on behalf of the government and the people of Barbados. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Minister Strawn, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, I want to say, Minister, thank you for your acknowledgement of the efforts of the association to help support the country at this particularly difficult time. What we've done certainly is that we as an association believe very strongly that it is incumbent on us to practice good corporate citizenship, and we've certainly encouraged our members to do the same. This presentation to the Adopt a Family program, I believe, was not a decision that we had to ponder very lengthy on. I think, we thought clearly that this is something that needed to be done. It's not the first donation that the association has made to the efforts to help support the people of Barbados during this time as we struggle through COVID. We've certainly made donations to help support the establishment of the facility at Harson's Point. We've also encouraged our members, wherever possible, to continue to make donations of themselves despite the hardships that they're going through, and particularly so in supporting their teams, because at the end of the day, we know that tourism is about people supporting people. What I would say, certainly, Minister, is that it is our intention, wherever possible, going forward, to continue to support any efforts to ensure that we see Barbados through this period of difficulty in as safe a way as possible and with as much discomfort as possible. So, Minister, on behalf of the association and its members, I want to say again thank you. If there is anything else that we can do to support the government of Barbados and the people of Barbados as we proceed to fight and come out of this pandemic, we stand ready to do so, to support you. So thank you very much, and we wish you all the best with the program.
You reminded me of the series of contributions actually that you have made in relation to Harrison Point, and I omitted to indicate that during my initial remarks, but I want to reflect on the fact that whilst we put that facility together quite hastily this time last year, the construction was still ongoing. The BHTA, and I want to say put it on the record, literally stepped forward to ensure that whilst the government was focused on the construction process, that the beddings and those types of other things, along with other members of the corporate community, step forward to be able to facilitate the outfit of that with respect to dealing with some of those matters, and those have continued throughout this process. So I think whilst this specific presentation relates to the adoptive family, which has gone directly to alleviate some of the suffering that persons have experienced in the country, I really do again want to thank the BHTA and other members of Corporate Barbados for helping to at least be able to contribute to the operations of Harrison Point, which I think all Barbadians can be proud of, because we've been able to effectively put in place a public health sieve, as my grandmother would say, in order to ensure that we can keep separate persons who have become infected and receive the best possible care with respect to that facility. And I think that that contribution really has kind of slipped under the radar, but I really want to indicate that thanks to certainly the BHTA, as well as a number of other corporate entities, for helping to provide, and from time to time people may have seen some publicity with respect to donations in that respect, but the reality is that as a hospital, effectively what it is, as you would appreciate, and with infections, obviously beddings and those types of things are the things that people come into contact with, and notwithstanding the other issues associated with the running of the institution, the reality is that without that generosity, we may not have been able to have it stood up in time in the way that we would have, given a number of the logistical issues that we've had. And the reality is that with a number of your hotels and guest houses and other persons who obviously were out of operation, then it meant that obviously we were able to utilize some of that capacity, even in the context that we stood up to establish quarantine hotels and the like, as a contribution to obviously the national effort. So beyond Harrison Point, the truth is that members of your association have stood up to deal with quarantine in the first instance, deal with isolation in a secondary instance, which really has allowed us to build sufficient capacity to deal with certainly the recent surge in cases, and therefore we cannot underscore the importance of that type of flexibility by your membership, because at the time that the country needed it, then obviously you cannot build another Harrison Point, you cannot build another facility. So I think from that side, certainly some of your members have stood up and be counted at the time that the country really needed it. And I think I want to thank again your members who have participated in that endeavor, because it certainly has allowed the public health management of the pandemic to be better managed with respect to the separation of persons from within the community, within the context of the capacity in the hotel space. And I think that it speaks volumes for obviously the national effort to fight COVID-19. And we do hope that certainly with the acceleration of vaccines, not just in Barbados, but certainly globally, that we can see a return to safe travel and the safe operation certainly of those facilities, and that once we achieve a level of herd immunity domestically, then those hotels, as well as the other hotels that are currently not occupied, will come back into production, and that the other attractions associated within the context of the BHTA, which have been hurting because of the lack of travel, we anticipate that we will have some level of cruising perhaps later this year. And the reality is that we are working hand in hand, certainly with you yourself, not just the hotels, but certainly with the other operators in the industry. And we really do thank you for your understanding and support to be able to get through this very difficult time. And if nothing else, I think the country can take confidence in the fact that even though this has been a significant downtime for tourism, certainly the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association and much of the members, by being able to contribute to the national effort to fight COVID-19, really has demonstrated the value of what tourism can provide in the context of the economy, but certainly to help respond to the management of this very serious public health threat. And I think that it is through that cooperation that we've been able to get the numbers down to where they are today. And I think the country owes you a debt of gratitude with respect to helping the government be able to help manage the public health side of that. So I really want to say thank you for all of that work that has been done. So of course there's more to be done, and we are seeking to ensure that once travel can resume safely, that obviously we look forward to the other side with respect to the reemployment of persons in the industry, the opening up of more leisure in the economy. But of course, that is a managed process by way of how quickly we can get persons vaccinated, so that we can open our doors again, not just to locals, but certainly to visitors, to help bring back some level of support to the industry that has helped at this very critical time. So I really want to again say thank you very much.